You'll know when you have a wild woman. She'll practice her craft without boundaries. She is truly autonomous.
Her loyalty is only to the family she serves, a midwife who will not allow herself to be held back by a system she didn't create.
This podcast is for the birth keepers who want to grow and change. We are open to learning through self-reflection and supportive community. We are creating this space to explore without judgment. We are remembering we were
Born wild.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Born Wild podcast. We're your hosts, Sophia
and Lea.
And today we have 3 birth stories for you from Kim. So Kim, why don't you introduce yourself and tell the listeners a little about you and your family.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kim. I'm so excited to be here today. And I live in Napa, California with my 3 kids and my husband, obviously. Him too, but we're not talking too much about him today.
He helped.
Yeah.
And your adorable dog, Maui.
And Maui, yes, she was present at all the births.
Dog Bella.
Yeah.
Well, maybe just start with wherever your story starts from you. For some people, it's when they knew they wanted to be a mom, or when they found out they were pregnant, or where does everything begin?
I would say, I always knew I wanted to be a mom. And then after my husband and I got married, I started getting really excited, and he was like, whoa, pump the brakes a little bit. So I think I was really like preparing.
If you hear the little coos, you're guessing right. It's a baby.
Yeah. This is baby Isla. She was asleep up until this moment, so she wanted to make her debut. So I would say
I was like, Andrew, she's fine, but you're also like juggling trying to hold your phone, huh? Feel free if you need to like set your phone down. Like we don't need to see you. We can hear
okay.
You. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to see what she is wanting me to do right now.
On a tripod.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Mama. Yeah, so I would say like I started getting really into birth probably a year and a half before I got pregnant with my first, who's Noah. Because I knew my husband wasn't ready, but I was like mentally like getting really excited. And I'm really excited to like be on a birth podcast, because that's kind of like where I got all my where my education about birth started. I listened to podcasts where like that it took us about a year to get pregnant with Noah. So like for a year and a half, I listened to just birth stories, a million of them all the time. And so that really helped me kind of formulate my ideas of what I wanted, what I didn't want. And so even though it was frustrating that it took that long, it was a really nice way to get me thinking about what I really wanted in birth. So that's kind of where it all started for me.
Great. And what did you want?
Well, I think that I'm married into a big family, and so I have lots of sister-in-laws, and a lot of them had unmedicated births. I'm like, people actually do that? Like, I was like so interested in it because it's like these are people I actually knew, and so I was like, what's the deal? And then one of my brother-in-laws is actually an anesthesiologist, and his wife is a nurse practitioner, and like he's given his fair share of epidurals, and I'm like, why are they choosing to do it at home? Like, this is like so weird to me. So I just started learning about home birth more, and realized like I just didn't want the interventions. I just wanted to be left alone, kind of, and I just trusted in my body, and so just started realizing that I didn't need to go to the hospital unless I needed to. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where my sister-in-law's kind of inspired that.
Nice. So even before you were pregnant, you were like, okay, probably home birth.
Exactly. Yeah.
And your sister-in-law is the nurse practitioner and her husband's anesthesiologist, and they had a home birth. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, so they had, I think their first had, it was a um birth center.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think one was in the car on the way to the birth center. And then one was a home birth. So, and then I had, yeah, a few others. One that had it unmedicated in the hospital, one planned at home, but then had to transfer. But just a lot of kind of the, um, you know, midwifery care. And so I was just really interested in why they made that choice. And that's kind of where it all started. And then by the time we actually got pregnant, I was like, oh yeah, I think this actually is for me. And I wasn't so terrified of like the pain and not being having access to medication and stuff like that, and realized that a lot of people do it and it's possible.
Yeah. For anyone listening, there's a really great documentary called Why Not Home? And I believe the producer lived or lives in Petaluma, so it's local.
Oh, cool.
And it follows medical providers who are choosing home birth, and like the why, like people who see the worst of the worst, like why are they choosing? Why do they feel safer in home? So I'll link that in the show notes. It's a great documentary.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I did watch, because I was doing read all the books and stuff. I think I did watch, what is it? Business of Being Born. I watched that one early on. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll link that one too. That's a great one. Great. Okay, well then you're pregnant. It takes a year.
It took a year.
Frustrating.
It was really frustrating, just because once you're finally ready, and then it doesn't happen.
You're like, we should have started a year ago.
Yeah, I'm like, see, no, we finally got pregnant. It was really exciting, and then right away we kind of knew that we wanted the home birth, so we interviewed a few midwives in our area, found a midwife, and I was still having concurrent care with Kaiser, so doing all the appointments. But I think, Lea, you called it what is the first pregnancy? The princess pregnancy. It totally was that. It was just amazing. I'm a teacher, so over the summer I just got to sleep and relax and rest during my first trimester. And it just was it was wonderful. I loved being pregnant. I felt good. It was just really easy, really smooth.
Those first ones, yeah, where you just have all the time in the world.
I think I'll nap at 2 p.m. on a Saturday.
Those times are gone.
They're gone.
It was great. Yes, I was just eating well. I was still exercising. I could nap whenever I wanted to. So it was great.
Was there anything that came up in your pregnancy that you want to share? Was it pretty smooth, or were there any complications?
None that I can remember. Yeah, I think everything was pretty smooth, pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy with the first one.
Well, take us to the birth then. How did it all unfold?
Yeah, so the birth was long. I mean, there's been longer first birth stories. I know that for sure. But it actually my labor started the day before my due date. So I had gotten, my last day of work was a Friday. And then the next day, Saturday, I went into labor. But it was really nice. It started off really slow, really mellow.
Isn't it amazing that all this time you remember that you went into labor on a Saturday? It's certain things we just will never forget.
Yeah. Well, I kind of remember because he was born on Sunday, which was Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh.
So it was,
it was a holiday.
There was something going on. All the other people were into it. I obviously wasn't, but he was born on Super Bowl Sunday. So so Saturday I just labored kind of slowly. I think Aaron made me pancakes, and I finished up making some birth affirmations to put on my wall, and I was just super excited because I was like, this is it. And I kind of labored all night, and I told Aaron to go to bed because I knew it could be long, and he did. So I hung out on the couch, And Sophia, I don't know if you know this, but one of the themes, I remember this most recent birth, you came in and I was watching Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
I was watching it in my first one too. It's like my calming background noise. So I just remember watching Grey's Anatomy all night, contracting and waking up the next day. And we decided to call my midwife. And so she came over and, I was starting to get like tired and it was starting to get hard. And I was like, will you check me? And she was like, no. And so I was like, please. And she's like, I think you're going to be discouraged if I do. You probably don't. And so in my head, I was like, oh no, like I already am discouraged. That means I'm at nothing's happening. Yeah. But anyway, she's like, I didn't sleep. So she put me to bed and kind of put me in that, like, what's that, like sideline position?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I got into bed and kind of remember just getting into that position. And then for the next like 5 or 6 hours, I slept. Mm-hmm. So it's really hazy. I just know for 5 or 6 hours, every 5 minutes, I would get on my all knees and have contractions and then fall back down. And then Aaron said within like 15 seconds, I was snoring again. So I remember it being hard, but it passed in the blink of an eye. Like, I guess, the football game was going on. Aaron watched the whole thing. He left and went and got food. Like, I had no recollection of anything. And then I remember I think it was a podcast I listened to, but one woman saying like when she started feeling pushy, she remembered like hearing a change like in her voice or like in her moans. And it was like I was in this haze. And then all of a sudden I remember hearing myself kind of do like the and I remember like just hearing that, not feeling it, but hearing it. I'm like, oh my God, like I think I'm pushing. And all of a sudden I just like snapped awake. It was like one of those things where you like sober up or something when you're really drunk. Like
adrenaline, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh my God, like I think I'm pushing. So Aaron called the midwife again. And then it kind of got a little stressful because then things got pretty like real right then.
It's like scramble time. Yeah.
It was for sure scramble. It was like slow for so long to I'm pushing and we're by ourselves. Because it took our midwife a while to get there, which was scary and frustrating. And I guess Aaron called a few times. But I had just gotten up, kept laboring around the house. My water broke. And then my midwife got there. I was like, it's okay. Like, it's not an emergency. And I was like, I feel like it is. It feels serious. But checked me because I had always been like heard like don't get in the pool too early because you don't want to slow things down. So I hadn't gotten in the pool yet. So she checked me and was like, oh yeah, you're a 10. I was like, yes. So and so I then got into the tub and I just didn't know what to do. It was like I was like, do I push? Like, is this really happening? Like, it was kind of like a shell shock moment type of thing. But yeah, I remember her saying like just like reach down and like feel his head. And well, at this time we didn't know what it was, but feel baby's head. And I felt it and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And also like, that's not going to work. Like, I don't think this is going to happen. And with one push, his whole head, his whole body just flew right out.
So it worked.
It worked. It did work. Yeah. And so, yeah, he came out. What's
that saying, round, hole, square peg, or, where you're like, no, that's not possible.
It's just not going to happen.
Yes.
Right here.
Yeah. And I just felt like such a little portion of his head. I was like, oh, I just know that this is going to get so much bigger and it's going to take a really long time. And it didn't. He came flying out the next one. So yeah, I actually like thinking back, I think his might have been the easiest pushing out of all three. Wow. But I didn't know that at the time.
It's just amazing how they can all be so different, you know, and there's like stereotypes for each, which obviously
Mhm.
just broke the mold. So
Yeah.
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 What else from that birth? Like anything to mention about the delivery of your placenta or breastfeeding or anything immediate postpartum?
I think I was just so shocked immediate postpartum. I remember my mom like coming over and like saying just like, "Oh my gosh, are you so in love?" And I was like, no, like I just don't know what just happened. And it's like you know,
Like
you see like the videos or whatever, like you're just gonna be overcome with like emotion and all these things. And I was just like, huh, okay. Like, you know, I had this protective, like I liked him, I was excited, but it was just like, whoa, it was a slow warm up, that's for sure.
It's
But
so good of you to share that though, because we hear that from a lot of moms, but they
Yeah.
think that they're the only
Yeah.
one,
There's
you
this
know?
expectation that
Mhm.
all, this instantaneous
Yeah.
thing, and it's not that way.
Yeah.
Everybody.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And I was like, and I'm always like surprised where I have like friends and they have, babies. I'm like, oh, like, did you cry? They're like, yes, of course. I'm like, yeah, I did not. Like, and none of my births, like, never cried. I think it's just like, just you just did so much
Yeah.
and then they're here and it's just like an overwhelming feeling in so many ways. So I think, yeah, for my first, it was especially like, wow, that actually happened and it actually worked. And it's just like so much buildup and you don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
So I remember that feeling like very overwhelming. Just like, okay, now I have to take care of it. And I don't know what to do with that.
Well, it's a big reason why we don't try to like hand babies to moms and just kind of let them like receive their baby in their own time.
Mm.
Because it's the idea of like running a marathon, you cross the finish line, someone hands you this trophy, and you're like, can I just catch my breath for a minute? Like, I'm really
sure.
glad. I'm like happy to receive this, and I need just a minute.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was like, I just need, to take a breath.
Mhm.
But immediate postpartum was fine. I think we were sitting in the tub for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden just kind of there was like a cloud of blood. So we're like, okay, the placenta is starting to detach. And then I think I just stood up and it kind of fell right out. So it didn't take too much effort. And then we just got into bed and they did all the the checked me, everything was good. I didn't have any tearing or nothing that needed any assistance.
Mhm.
Baby was good. I was completely clueless about like breastfeeding. It was kind of like, here, put the baby on your boob, okay, see you later, see you tomorrow. I was like, what? I'm here alone with the baby. So I think that was like the biggest thing. Like, oh, when you're at a hospital, there's people around
Yeah.
a lot, maybe too much, but
Mhm.
but like, oh, if I have a question or need help, but I'm like, wait, they're leaving me. Like so it was interesting. But the first night he didn't nurse too much. He kind of slept a lot. My mom stayed the night and kind of held him a little bit while I slept. So the first night, the first like 24 hours were just kind of like a whirlwind.
Mhm.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you have any breastfeeding complications or was it pretty straightforward?
Just kind of I had some cracked, painful nipples at one point, that I kind of eventually just got through. Where I mean, I don't know if he had a great latch, from the beginning, but he ended up breastfeeding for a year and we co-slept, so he was, attached to me pretty much 24/7.
Mhm.
So we made it work.
Yeah. Okay. I know it's funny when you're like, no, everything went straight forward, just cracked bleeding
Yeah.
nipples. Just,
Yeah.
typical.
Mhm.
And then tell the transition from 1 to 2, like how did you find out you were pregnant? Were you trying? Was it a surprise? How far apart are they?
Yeah, so our second came around. Our second was a COVID baby. So we had our Noah in 2019. And so after he turned 1, we decided, okay, we want them kind of close together. And because like it took us so long with Noah, we were like, we might as well start trying. And so we got pregnant with our second in about 4 months, which was exciting. And that pregnancy was also really kind of a princess pregnancy too, because it was at the beginning of COVID and everything was shut down. So we were just home and relaxing. And, I was still doing some work, on the computer, but I mean, Noah was still little and still easy and sweet. And, so it was just a really easy, restful pregnancy then as well. We just were kind of in a little bubble, and I felt really good with my second pregnancy as well. Felt really healthy, really happy, beautiful, all the good things. So
It's
yeah.
It's so funny because with Teo's pregnancy, like I totally blocked out that we had masks. Like I
Right.
I just completely forgot that part. And then I just remembered when you were talking about COVID baby, like coming over and just like that whole experience, like just COVID.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, just coming over and everybody masking up
And for the listeners, you found Lea as your midwife for that, right?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah. First with a different midwife, and I knew after my first pregnancy that I needed a different type of energy for my birth and postpartum. And so right away when I found out I was pregnant, I reached out to a whole bunch of different midwives in the area and found Lea. And it was just, I knew from the moment we met, it was going to be perfect.
Great. So the pregnancy, second princess pregnancy, and then going into labor, what was that like?
Yeah, so Noah, my first, was born on his due date. And then, you always hear like, oh, the next ones will come early, or, whatever, it'll be so much faster. And he was not. He was late. I think he was maybe 6 days late. So now that feels like nothing when we get started. But at the time, it felt really like long. The whole time mentally, I was like, he's going to come early. He's going to come early. I just know it. I feel it. And of course, my due date came and went. But I kept busy, and my labor kind of started the same. It started at night, like in the afternoon. And same thing, I kind of just labored throughout the night on my couch. And then
anatomy or no?
I can't remember. I feel like it's just, it was part of all my births. But yeah, and I feel like this was like the quintessential birth. Like when I think of Teo's birth, it was just like everything was just beautiful. It was March, and it was like a really sunny, beautiful day. And it was I don't know what it was. It was just good energy, good vibes. I heard people that make a birthday cake. So I think that morning we made a birthday cake for Teo. And was just feeling really good. Fortunately, I think all my labors, it's like once I hit like a contraction for a minute every 5 minutes, my body kind of gets there and just stays there for a really long time. And so even though it's long, it feels manageable because I'm kind of just trudging along. So that was nice. Aaron and I went out for a walk, but I only went a block and decided like, no, I don't want to do that. Let's go home. And then eventually called Lea, and then you both came over.
Yeah, because at that point we were assisting each other at first, and so I was assisting that one.
Yeah. I remember emphasizing the need for you to call me as soon as things picked up. The second baby, it was like, you can't overcall me.
Yeah.
Undercall me.
Yes. So I was like, okay, I think things are getting like picking up a little bit. Let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna change her diaper. Do you want me to pause?
Either way, if you can keep talking, that's fine, or we can pause.
Maybe I'll pause just to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back from our break, sponsored by Huggies Diapers.
Okay. So,
What are you saying?
where I left. I think I
Leah
left
was saying,
off.
like, call me as soon as like you can't call me too much.
Yes. Okay. So I think it was maybe midday, like noon or so, and I called Leah and said, "Yeah, I think things are picking up." And Leah was like, "Great, like we'll just head over." So you guys got there, and we just checked in. We hung out. We had some snacks. And I remember I had like this little loop I would walk in my house because for Noah's pregnancy, that was the one thing that I was really interested by. How each birth had kind of its own position to like get through the contractions. Noah's, I had to be on all fours, like on the bed or on a couch. Teo's, I had to be walking, but then kind of like leaning up against like a countertop. And so I would walk, and by the time I would get to the peak of my contraction, I remember I'd be in the kitchen and do my contraction and then come back to the living room and sit on my birth ball and then do that. And my contractions, they got harder, but they still kind of stayed the same length, I feel like, apart. And I remember Leah like finally telling me like, "Why don't you get into the birth tub?" And I was like, "What? Why? Do you think it's close?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." Like I just felt like I could have kept going forever. It was just, I was like, "There's no way." But she's like, "Yeah, I think you could get in." So that was like really funny. I didn't really have the urge to push, but you guys I think could just tell. You could see it that it was changing. So I got in, and yeah, sure enough, it was like the moment like I hit the water, it was like all of a sudden just boom, he was ready to come out. And
Your
Teo
births
was my
are like instant baby, just add water.
seriously, I'm like so hesitant to get in the water, and then the moment I do, they're like, "And we're coming right now."
Yeah.
So his was the longest like pushing phase, which we were all kind of surprised by because yeah, I got in the water and kind of was on my knees, and I felt him right there. I felt all the pressure, but he just wasn't coming out. So I think it was like 20 minutes of pushing, and he was just kind of chilling there. I don't know what or why, but
My memory's right. You were pushing him in his water bag, yeah?
yes.
Because that can contribute to like, that experience.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, so he finally came out, and he wasn't in caul, but at some point the bag of waters had broken. But yeah, he came out and still had his sack around him.
Ruptured as he was born, so they call it in veil. Like he had the veil around him. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that was exciting, and it was another boy. We didn't know we were having, so that was a fun surprise. And yeah, it was just, I remember thinking after that birth and only that birth, I was like, I could do that again. Like that, it was just such a I don't know, it was just easy. I mean, nothing about it was easy, but like when I think back to it, I'm like, it was just a normal day, and it was difficult, but it was it was just, it was
like it was just spot on,
manageable. Yeah, midwives will call them butter births. Where it's just like it just went so smooth.
That's exactly how I felt. Like I wouldn't say it was easy, but yeah, it just went smoothly, and I was like, that could be done again for sure.
And was it?
And we said yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Well, what about immediate postpartum, like placenta, breastfeeding, anything like that you want to chat about?
I think it was pretty similar. I think I had to push maybe a little bit to get my placenta out. I think still in the water, if I remember correctly.
Anything that like stood out as being abnormal.
Yeah. And we did the the checks, and it was fun because he was only still, I think, 8'5", but he was a whole pound bigger than when Noah was born. So he just felt like such a big, chunky, healthy baby. So it was really fun to
Those
see
extra
him.
6 days.
Seriously. Yes, he was just a little chunk. So immediate postpartum was great. I feel like I then had like kind of the tools and knowledge for breastfeeding to kind of understand what I had to do. And he, I think, latched really quickly and really easily, which made everything just so much less stressful. Just the second time, the first time you don't know what you don't know. And then the next time it's just like so much less stress because you just know it'll be okay and you'll figure it out. And I think that's how just everything, the pregnancy, the birth, postpartum, it was so much less stressful.
So his personality, he's so gregarious. It's just like, hi, feed me.
Seriously. Yes. He's just go with the flow. Yes. I totally agree.
Well, what about your third?
Oh my gosh.
How long did you
Third.
get pregnant?
I remember seeing you at the family gathering and you were like, I think I want another one. I was like, yes.
Yes, do it.
We always say yes.
Yes, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, so my husband and I were always kind of between 2 or 3. He comes from a bigger family, and so I just liked that because I come from really small families. So I was like, I think I want 3. And so finally we were kind of like, okay, like let's just give it a go. And it happened first try. So it was actually quite shocking because even though it was planned, it was like, oh, like that really happened, and it happened quick, and it was a little bit like,
you guys were wishy-washy. I just had to come in on the first try.
Seriously. So it happened really quickly and we were excited, but it was kind of one of those, like, it wasn't the first pregnancy where we had all the time in the world to think about it. It wasn't our COVID pregnancy where we were just home also just thinking about it. It was like, now we're back to real life and we have a 2 and a 4-year-old and it's crazy. So really, like, it was like the morning I took a pregnancy test, I'm like, babe, I'm pregnant. We're like, okay, cool. See you later. See you after work. Like, it was totally like not cute or romantic. It was just one, kind of one of those like, all right, here we go. And this pregnancy was a roller coaster, that's for sure. Like the first 2, like I said, I felt so great, so beautiful. And I was really excited for my third. Like, I'm just gonna eat up this last pregnancy and enjoy every moment. And I hated it. It was a really tough pregnancy. I wouldn't say there were different like symptoms. I had the fatigue, but then you're like double fatigue just because you have the older kids.
Yeah.
So that was really hard. And I just felt like gross. Like I just felt really ugly and not cute. And it was just the weirdest thing. So early on, I was like, like, is this a girl? Like, if something feels very
I was gonna say, are you trying to confirm the old wives' tale that the fathers take your beauty?
I think so. I think for me, it was very true. And I just felt really low. I remember our appointment, Sophia, like, you just walked in like, hi, how's it going? I just like burst into tears. I'm like, it's horrible. Yeah. It was just,
I was like, this is why we have Kleenex literally right next to the couch.
It's crazy because I never had those feelings ever pregnant with the first 2. So having this, I was like, what is this? Like, how could I be feeling low right now? Because, I forgot to mention, with Noah, I had some pretty significant postpartum blues with my first. So, I mean, for him, I probably cried for like 10 days straight postpartum. No reason, no rhyme, just tears all the time. And that's probably why Teo's is also one of my favorites, because I didn't have that. And I was just like happy from the get-go. So for this, I was like, why is this happening before I give birth? Like, and so I was like, am I going to be like a complete mess postpartum if I feel like this now? It was really, really odd. I'd never heard of someone feeling like so low during pregnancy. But
And I remember you feeling so guilty too, because you were like really trying to enjoy, the pregnancy, and you're like, does the baby like feel all this?
Right. Like, we did want you. I swear. Yeah, but there were many, many times where we were just like, what are we doing? We have 2 and it's crazy. Why are we adding the 3rd? Just a lot of like big emotions. But and we were talking, I've never been someone that gets like sick during pregnancy. Like, I just have the fatigue. But Teo brings home every sickness under the sun. And so we got the stomach flu 5 times during my pregnancy. So I kind of felt like someone who maybe was sick throughout their entire pregnancy. So that was brutal, just throwing up a lot. It made me feel for all those mamas who are constantly sick. So yeah, like I said, it was just a long, rough pregnancy. So by the time it was, she was 9 months, I was ready. I was ready to be done.
We're like, thank God the baby's gonna come early, right?
Exactly. I was like, this is gonna be good to go. And yeah, so Noah was on time. Teo was like 6 days late, and Isla ended up being 15 days late. So she she just wanted to stay in, and
Which your theory was wrong, because you always say boys never want to leave their mothers, right?
She just knew that she needed to be really chubby.
Yeah.
I have to have one on Teo.
I'm working on my figure, and I'll be out when I'm ready.
Yes. She's like, I'm growing my hair.
Yeah. She grew 2 pounds of hair in the last week.
Yep. Yeah. So those last 2 weeks, and those last 2 weeks were weird. I feel like I texted Lea like 3 times, like, I think this is it. And then it wasn't it. And it's just funny. Like, you think like, this is my 3rd time doing this. You think I would know when my body's in labor. And there were some times where I even like, I just feel it, like it's happening. And then I would wake up the next morning like, it's not happening. So that was really, really frustrating.
How they show who's actually in charge here,
Yeah. And I did all the things, all the, eat all these things and do all these things. And of course, none of them worked because she wasn't ready. But I finally went into labor. I think when I was 42 weeks. And it was so funny because I remember texting Lea like the night before Thanksgiving, like, it might be a Thanksgiving baby. And then she wasn't born until December 13th. Like, that just makes me laugh so much. Yeah. So same start to labor. I picked the kids up from school and daycare. We went to a park, and I started having contractions while I was at the park with them, and just kind of noticed, I'm like, okay, like this has to be it. Like, this cannot go on any longer. And got home, we put the kids to bed, and same thing. I just labored all night, watched my Grey's Anatomy on the couch, did my thing. And I think I called you pretty early in the morning, Sophia, like, hey, I've been having contractions all night. Because I think in my head, even though I knew it wasn't, time, I was like, well, all the births, they say, are supposed to get shorter and shorter. So Noah's was like 30 hours and Teo's was like 19. So I'm like, this has to be happening right now.
I know. I think I told you that like your baby's gonna take hours to just get their shoes on. Like, once they're older, like you're gonna be like, come on, I thought we gotta leave.
Yeah. So she then still took her time when I was in labor. And so Aaron and I finally, I think around noon the next day, went out for a walk because I was laying on the couch a lot, just trying to rest. I'm like, I think I need to get up and move a little bit to help it out. And I think that really kind of was a pivotal change. I think then they started to get a little bit harder. And um yeah, I'm trying to think. Finally, I think we called you around 4 or 5.
Mhm.
And you listened to a contraction maybe and said you were going to head over. And the end part is kind of a blur. I mean, it was pretty quick by the time you got there.
Well, and I talked to Sophia because I was like, I want to be at her birth, even if you're on call, because, we're hoping to both be there. And I was like, okay, I planned to get a Christmas tree with my kids. And it's like,
You're like in the middle of that.
right. And I was like, do you think I have time? And she was like, I don't know, but I think so. And I was like, okay, my kids won't kill me, but, and then of course,
Yeah, and then by the
course I missed
again,
it.
it was like by the time it really got going, because I think I felt like we got there a little on the early side, but then yeah, it really picked up fast, and I was like, just enjoy your tree. I don't
you're not gonna. I think I was like, had just gotten the tree on my car, and I was like, okay, so I drive there with my kids and my Christmas tree, or
not. Come on in.
Yeah, but I got there. My notes say around like 5:30.
Okay.
The baby was born soon after that, like 6, yeah, almost 7. So I wasn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fast after by the time you got there. I feel like that's how, like I said, all of them, that's the one thing they have in common. They have like kind of that 5-minute contraction going, and then boom, it's kind of like transition into pushing is really fast for me.
kind of slow warm up, and then when it's on, it's on.
Yeah. And the whole time you were there, you were saying that you had a lot of like pressure, actively pushing, but you're like, there's a lot of pressure.
Okay. I don't even remember that.
Yeah. And then we suggested you get in the tub at 6:45, and she was born at 6:51.
Oh my gosh. Right. The water again. Well, I remember because Aaron had the tub set up and we hadn't filled it up, but then we ran out of hot water. So I knew you guys were heating up water for a little while. I think I was kind of in the room, like pacing, like, is it time? Can I get in? And kind of same thing. Aaron said there was one contraction where I was just laying on the bed. And that all of a sudden you guys kind of came running down because just the noise changed. Yeah. And I think right after that, I hopped in, and again, it was really fast. And her pushing, I mean, I wouldn't even call it pushing, her coming out. Yeah. I mean, even though it was fast, I got in at 6:45 and she was born at 6:50 something.
Yeah, 51. Or no, that was head. Hold on, let me see. Born at 6:51. So
yeah. So even though it was really fast, it felt the most intense out of all of them. Noah's was just new, and I was like, I don't know what's happening here. Teo's was long, but hers I felt was the most intense, and that was one thing we weren't sure if she was possibly posterior, because she felt like she was coming out of the wrong end. It just felt really, really intense, and I was like, there's no way this is happening. Again, thinking this isn't happening, someone help, and then it worked. She came out. Yeah. And it was super exciting because she came out with a full head of hair, which neither of my boys had. And she has a little cleft chin, and she is just she looks so different from the others. So it was really fun. If I hadn't like just had her come out of me, I would have been like, there's no way this is my kid.
Babies.
Yes. So it was fun.
Yeah, I guess that is a benefit of home birth. I never thought about that. Nobody can switch your baby on you.
No one can switch. Yes, I'm like, I know 100% she's mine, but she doesn't look it. But yeah.
What about postpartum for her? Placenta, breastfeeding, all that?
Yeah, placenta. Well, placenta, I remember I was sitting in the tub, and I think I could feel it kind of starting to come out. And so I gave someone the baby and pushed out the placenta and kind of helped it. And at some point it had torn, I think. So it kind of came out a little, there were some pieces, but then when you guys looked at it, it all looked fine, but it kind of came out and then not completely formed like the other two, which was interesting, but no issues. And yeah, postpartum was great. Same, she latched really easily. The boys, my dad had the older boys and brought them over not too long after, so they got to meet their sister before bed. And yes, she was the girl, so that was a really fun, exciting surprise after two boys. And postpartum has just been really, really sweet this time around.
They still call her Cupcake?
They do. They call her Isla Cupcake. Isla Cupcake. So it's really cute.
They called the baby that in your tummy, right? Cupcake.
Mm-hmm.
And then
yes.
Came out.
Yeah, we used to like sit around the dinner table and just think of like silly names for the baby, like cucumber or like Cheeto. And one time they said Cupcake, and it stuck for all of us. We're like, oh, that's so cute. So yeah, so now she's Cupcake. She was first named Cupcake, and now she's Isla Cupcake. And the first few weeks were, I mean, postpartum wise, she was great. I was fine. But the boys were off for, winter break. So that was like a lot of togetherness with a newborn. So that in itself was challenging, just because, they want you and they're all over you, and then they want to be all over the baby. And it's a hard transition, especially when they're out of their kind of daily routine. But everything's been great. I was so worried about, postpartum depression or feeling low, just because I had such a hard pregnancy, and I never had any of that, which was really exciting. And I've just been laying really low. I could tell my body, this one, it's taking me a lot longer to recover than the first two. The first two I was like back exercising at like something like 6 to 8 weeks, something crazy, and felt great. And this one I'm like, I can't imagine doing anything, even now, even 11 weeks postpartum. It's just been a lot slower, so I've been trying to just take it easy, and
still in that fourth trimester that people talk about, so
yeah, exactly. And so it was interesting. I haven't talked to you guys yet, but I'll be interested to see what you guys think. But so I went to the park with the kids maybe a week or two ago, and starting to feel really good. I'm like, maybe I'll just do a little, exercise, a few little squats, whatever, lunges. And then I just felt a ton of pressure, and I'm like, oh no, do I have prolapse? So anyway, so I'm gonna go see the holistic pelvic floor therapist, but I also went to Kaiser, just because I'm going back to work in a few weeks and wanted to make sure everything is kind of documented. But she believes that I have a rectocele. Mm-hmm. Is that common?
Welcome to our 11-week postpartum checkup.
Oh, okay. Right on track.
Yeah, rectocele, it's where like the tissue from the rectum can like bulge into the vagina, and you could have cystocele, which is like the bladder. We can send you some resources for pelvic floor recommendations. And
thanks. Yeah, so I've been working on that with her, but again, yeah, just taking it slow. I just did a little bit, like a few squats, and I'm like, oh yep, not time. So really trying to just listen to my body this time around and really get healed. One thing with her that happened with all my pregnancies, but hers was the worst. I had a horrible hemorrhoid with her, like terrible, painful. And so I've tried everything, but I think the winning combination was your recommendation for the cypress oil with so I did like a carrier oil with cypress oil and put that on it religiously, and Miralax, and those two within a week cleared it up. and it was a big bad boy, and now you can barely see it. So
we're always like, has it been around long enough that you have to name it?
Right.
yes, exactly. And with Teo, I had one, and I'm sure I, had it going into this birth. Like, I've been dealing with it for a long time. So this time around, I was like, I'm not going to suffer this forever like I did with Teo. So it was a few weeks where I was really uncomfortable, but that was the winning combination for me. So hopefully that helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help others.
Yeah.
Well, if there's a mom on here listening who's trying to decide if she wants to have a home birth, do you have any advice or, what you have taken from your 3 births?
Oh my gosh. I would say the podcasts are really what got me started, and just hearing positive birth stories at home, unmedicated, that, things go right, and you always tend to hear maybe things that go wrong, which, people have their own stories, but that was what really helped me, just listening to positive birth stories, and that it can be done, and that you do have, different options. And so I would just say, just listen to everything, listen to all the birth stories. And I'd listen to a million different podcasts, and those were kind of my main source of kind of learning and pumping me up that I could do it and it was possible.
And full circle, someone will listen to your birth story on a podcast. And
that would be amazing. Seriously.
Well, if anyone wanted to get, oh my gosh, I wish we were sharing the video right now.
Hi.
I know.
Everyone's just like listening to us too.
Like,
Well, if anyone wanted to be in touch with you about anything, is there any contact info you want to share, and we can leave it in the show notes too?
Sure. Yeah, I can leave you guys my email and my Instagram.
Great.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing.
Thanks for having me. I miss you both.
You too.
We'll see you at the family gathering.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, everyone, that's it for today. Thank you for listening to the Born Wild podcast. If you enjoy our podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe every week to get the latest one.
And please follow us on Instagram at Born Wild Podcast, as well as Facebook. You can also write to us at info@bornwildmidwifery.com, as well as our website, bornwildmidwifery.com.
And remember,
Stay wild.